You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the Podcast Mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast.
Welcome back to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, your host with the most, Phil Better, and today I have Billy Batt on, the owner of Chrome Consulting and 5-in-1 Method. I'm so happy to have him on. Billy, please give us an introduction and welcome to the show.
Yeah, not a problem. And thank you. And by the way, we actually have a couple more things to add on there. I'm also the CMO and head of recruitment for Titan and Pro-Choice Roofing and MDG Properties. And I'm also, so we did the NWMO podcast and Inner Circle where we consult agencies that work with contractors too. So just so they get a little feel for it.
You couldn't be an entrepreneur. You have to be like the mogul of entrepreneurs and just have so many.
Yeah, dude. But everything's sort of like it aligns, right? So that's the biggest thing is like when you find your like alignment and you're like, okay, I have clarity, I know what I'm doing. Because it's so easy to get pulled away 13 and I still get sometimes there's a little that shiny object right in front of you and you're like, I want to do this thing, but enough. We'll get into that later. So, but about me, we run a couple multi-6-figure and 7-figure, and I'm part of 7-figure businesses, 8-figure businesses. I'm not an 8-figure business owner yet. It's coming. Don't you worry. It's coming.
Well, you have your hands in enough pies. It's about it's nearly time.
Something's gonna pop, right? No, they're all doing really well. Everything's good. Sometimes you got to move 2 steps back to go 3 steps forward. Bit about me, how I got in all this. Actually, I left home early at 13. Ended up on the streets. Long story short, ended up in a gang. All that, barely made it out. Made it out of that lifestyle. Ended up in the oil field in northwestern Canada for about 8 years.
Alberta.
Alberta. Okay, cool. Alberta. Alberta, BC, Saskatchewan, all that stuff. Been back and forth from the States for the last 3 years, and I've been full-time as an entrepreneur. It'll be 3 years in December since I worked a day in the oil field, which I'm so grateful for. I get to spend time with my daughter when I am allowed because me and her mom, we don't get along, and it's okay. That happens, but I'm going to do my best as a father of making sure that she's well taken care of when she gets older. We already just set up some accounts for her recently to build some savings. So things that I never had, I want to make sure that she has when she gets a little older. And and that's a bit about me. And right now we're in Orlando, scaling up the roof company, scaling up the consulting agency. Yeah, and then we're doing some work with investors as well. So it's really awesome.
I love it. I love the story from humble beginnings to where you are, trying to make sure that your family's taken care of. Everybody has a different story, but yours I connect with because it's you went through the hard times when you were younger, which made you into the person you are today, who can be the success. That even though you could have a bit of a challenge in your business, it gets better because you've gotten better. You've gotten through the harder stuff.
Yeah, literally, I was literally talking about this last week at the event, was because of all the stuff that I went through growing up. Actually, so when things are on fire in my business, I can hold my composure really well. And instead of being reactive, I can assess the situation and make the right move so that we're not going to bury ourselves 10x further. So that was one of the things. And then literally, as I said that, actually, we had a couple things we had to deal with. So and I thought about when I said it to him, I was like, I literally said this, and now this is happening. But by the end of the day yesterday, we still got my workouts in, still got everything in, and I felt still fulfilled at the end of the day, even though we had issues in the morning. But because we pushed through that barrier, it was really great just to be like, okay, we pulled today off. Let's get ready for tomorrow, and let's have a good day, which we are already having a great day today too. So it's awesome.
Love hearing that. Billy, which is funny because you said one of the questions I always ask is, what would you consider your first failure? And you kind of mentioned it a little earlier. You left home at 13 trying to do everything yourself.
Yeah, so me and my parents had a bit of disagreements. Obviously, rules and stuff. I wasn't really great with them. I like to be my own free bird because I moved from the country into the city. I didn't have restrictions in the country, and now you're trying to put them on me in the city, and it led to a lot of head against head, and then whatever. So I ended up leaving. I was getting in trouble at home, and I ended up leaving. And it brought me down that path. That was, lucky that I got out of that life. But it was that was the start. I was like, either ways, I'm going down the wrong path. I made that decision. But, at the end of the day, that really was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, even though it was really brutal at that time. And I don't wish that upon anybody to have to go through what I had to when I was a young teenager.
No, I can understand. I've helped out a lot of charities with people in the streets, and that's why I understand how difficult it is. And just walking downtown, you can see how difficult it is for some of the people who don't have that support, who may have not had that supportive home. But you turned your life around. You're crushing it with different companies that are making multi-figures, and you're on your way there. Tell us a bit about how you got started with in the entrepreneurial world, maybe
in the online world. We'll
go with the online world.
Yeah. So, it started with so there was a crash in 2015 of the oil field, and I was working there. I was making decent money. I didn't really care. Plus, I actually had a daughter on the way at the time, so that's when I sort of started reframing my mind. Like, if I didn't have my daughter, I'd probably still be slanging in the oil field. Didn't care about nothing. I was whatever. I'm making decent money.
Good money.
It was good. It was good. It's good money, but it ain't rich money. You know what I mean? And
unless you move back to Newfoundland, and then you have the big money from the oil field.
Yes, 100%. So what happened was, the oil crashed, and it was a little bit of a downturn for me, obviously, mentally, personally. I think I actually had my injury with my thumb at that time. I ended up picking up the 10X rule book by Grant Cardone. I started reading books, read his next book, went to a conference, started learning about, traffic and marketing and funnels. And then I ended up getting a job again back in the oil field, but now I'm sort of tied into this world a little bit. And I started doing high ticket sales for coaching programs. So I was working 10 hours a night, then doing 5 hours, 6 hours in the day, 10, 12 hours a night, 5 to 6 hours in the day doing sales, and sleeping like 4 hours a day. Then I quit my job, went all in on the sales, but then I started learning also some other stuff on the side. And that's when I started learning lead gen. I paid for a consultant. He knows who he is. And then I started getting into the lead gen stuff. And then from there, I took the basic learnings that I did with him and then started digging deeper, doing my own research, and then getting into more systems and processes and lead generation avenues, organic, paid, automations, you name it. And that's literally what I got into.
That's awesome. I love it. And I love how you started with the books. You picked up a book, you started reading it, and then you're like, I like this, I want more of this, and you just go further into it.
Yeah, and it was really because the 10X was a real good book to pick up first, because it really was all about your mentality and the 10X and what you want to achieve your goals. And at the time, I didn't even know what the hell my goals were, right? So I'm like, I don't even know what my goals are. I'm just trying something. I just need a different avenue, right?
Mm-hmm.
The oil's not doing it for me anymore. So that's what happened there, and that's how I ended up, flipping things around.
I love it. And it's true. Like I picked up a book. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, a classic for entrepreneurs and that. And my mind started shifting into gears into being like, no, because 2020 was a horrible year for everybody. I don't think anybody had a very fun year.
It was not bad for me, actually. It actually, because I actually had an incident that happened at the end of 2019, right before Christmas.
Oh.
I almost lost everything right before Christmas in 2019 through some. I made a decision that I thought was going to be a good decision, and the people I was working with were not a good fit. We'll just say that. Almost cost me all my money in my bank account. So when 2019, at the end, I was already starting over, right?
Oh.
So by the time March came and all the lockdowns came, I was already in snowball mode from starting fresh. And I was like, I ain't stopping here. I don't care what the world's doing. My world just stopped 3 months ago. I'm getting back in gear. So it was actually not too bad. It's actually when I hired my first assistant. Was right at the beginning of 2020, and she's been with me ever since. And we've been adding more people on our team. Launched my podcast. Got a little bit more alignment. Actually, so 2020 was more like of an alignment year for me.
Okay,
alignment and going deep on because that mistake I made in 2019 was because of me shifting gears. Now what I learned not to do was this is my focus. I need to stay right here.
Stay in what is not just stay in your lane, but become the master of your lane, so that then you can hire people to do the other lanes for you.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then I knew exactly what I needed to do and what I didn't need to do, and it gave me clarity. If anything, a lot of clarity.
I love that. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm just looking here. You mentioned, I believe you're hiring your first person in one of your questions, but I can't find it. But we'll move on. It doesn't really matter. So you started your podcast. When did you start your podcast?
I think June or July. June.
Maybe last year.
Maybe even May. In
the summer months. Tell us a little bit about your podcast. What can we expect if we listen into it?
So that's the New World Marketing Order podcast. We pretty much we're just looking to work with badasses and hear where they came from and how they're changing the game when it comes to marketing and sales for entrepreneurs. We've had Mitch Miller on there. We've had Jeff Hunter, he's on there. Damon with SEO, he's been doing SEO for 14 years. I got a couple other good names on there. John Malott, he's doing some big launches right now. Crude, we've had on there. He's big. Yeah, man, some hitters, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but these are people that I actually grew connections with. These weren't just people that I invited on my podcast. I've hired him for stuff. Chris Rude, we did stuff with him. John Malott, we were the ones helping fill up the events he was at. So these are connections that we actually built before they even hopped on the show.
That's amazing. I do it the other way. I build the connection once they're on the show.
Yeah. So but see, but it works both ways, right? Mm-hmm. So it's utilize your current network and utilize what you're doing to grow your network. Both. It's a double-edged sword.
Oh yeah, no. Podcasting, I think, is one of the most underrated secrets in marketing ever, because you have that 30 minutes that you're talking with a potential client, or you're talking to you have your potential client listening to what you're saying, so that they're getting drilled into your points.
Yes, exactly. And it's honestly, I've got people that came into my network and bought my services, and it was what happens is to get them to get to know who you are and your personality, to see if you're values align with what they're doing. Because I had people that come and started working with me, and they're just like, dude, I can just tell you're my kind of person. Like, that's it. Like, they didn't even really care what they were buying. They just want to be a part of what we were doing.
Yeah, it's the environment that you create. And I think that's the new age of business we're moving into, the entrepreneurial business, where because we already have all these giant businesses taking care of a lot of the stuff that we don't need to, when you go in and you're looking for something specific, you can go and find the specific entrepreneur. Like for marketing, if you want high ticket leads and that, you go see Billy Batt. Or if you want, to learn how to launch a podcast, you come see Phil Better. Or you want your money mindset right, you go over and see other people. Like, this is what the new world is. Like, you can find people that you gel with, and so that you're working with someone and you're not pissed off. You don't get the buyer's remorse anymore, like we used to have before.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. I feel also JVs are big right now. Partners, collaboration, and JV marketing is really big right now. I'm getting a lot of that done. Really, it's been great.
Why don't you just jump in a bit more about the VE partnerships and that you're doing? If you don't,
JVs? Yeah, so pretty much what we're doing is we're finding, like, you can find influencers on Instagram that are like, 10, 20, 40,000, 50,000 followers, and they have good engagement of people in your ideal audience, but they're not monetized well. So we're going to go and make them a nice offer of 50% of our profits, or we're going to say, hey, here's a 20% on our course, or whatever it is you're doing there, and that seems to be working. There's also ways that we're utilizing Fiverr that are promote my products as well to their bigger audiences. So we're using that too. And then literally, honestly, people underestimate the power of the DM. Honestly, I DM everybody. I got my team DMing everybody. Like, that's how we do. Like, I say what you want. Some people don't like it. I can't tell you how much money I've made from literally DMing somebody straight cold. Hey man, love what you're doing. Love to connect with you. Let's see how we can make something happen. I know there's a lot of synergy here. And people have been like, okay, let's hop on a call. And literally, and they'll either buy my services or we'll partner or send referrals. And that's literally just DM. That doesn't include our paid marketing or automation services, any single thing like that. That's what it is. It's awesome.
I love it. It's a great way to grow not only your network but your pocketbook as well.
But I'm going to fair warning: do not go through the DM. Hey, buy my services. No, man. I love what you're doing. How can we connect? How can we make something happen together? You got to make it mutual, because then it's not even the same conversation. It is a different conversation. Your approach is it needs to be about connection, not about me.
And I love how you're reiterating that point, that it's about a connection to help grow both of you. It's something that a previous guest, actually, the growth enthusiast himself, Dan Cho, mentioned. He's a high ticket leads. Similar to what you do, he's a lead gen for multi-billion-dollar companies, helping them grow. And he was like, it's all about creating that connection, that one-on-one joint amazingness.
Has to be.
I love how you're reiterating it, saying, it's not just one person saying, I got two experts in lead gen saying, this is how you do it. So I love that, reiterating that point.
So now you know what to do.
Just connect. And actually, funny enough, I did that. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try. I've always been nervous to do that lead gen, like the DM, cold DM, because it's like, and I get so many, and it feels spammy. And I'm like, I don't want to be spammy.
Well, you got to do it a different way.
Oh, no, I would get them and I'd be like, no, you're selling me something. You're selling me something. And then when I did, I was like, hey, I would love to have you on as a guest for my podcast. We can help share and all this. And then it led to actually him becoming a client.
Yep. So what I say is, write how you talk. Type it as if you're actually having going on, like if that's what you say, or dude, or bro, or like, hey girl, like throw in like your actual mannerisms, and it usually works out better, because people read it like they're hearing it. right?
Yeah.
So if it comes off like as if it's somebody talking and not just like, hey, would you like to, right? You know what I mean?
If it doesn't, if it looks
that's how you-
human, it's not automated, it's not copy
Yeah.
paste. There's a human aspect.
Exactly. You know, and even comment on something that they're doing, engage on their stuff. Engagement too. I always support local businesses, support my friends' businesses, all that good stuff. But that always helps too. Not just the first DM, also commenting, engaging, liking, and emboldening them.
Yeah, you want to support people just so that they may never work with you, but you can go, I helped this person and I'm glad I was able to help this person grow.
Exactly. Yep, 100%.
I love it. I want to take some lessons that you've learned from successes, because you've had pretty much a lot of them, as well as failures. What would you say would be your favorite success? And I have your answer here, and I want to see if you...
My favorite, it's probably going to be different. So my favorite success that we actually achieved, or favorite things that we do to achieve success, because that could be a twofold.
Let's do both. Let's start with whichever one you want, and then we'll go to the other ones.
So I would say my favorite achievement was actually my failure that I had in 2019, because it taught me a multi-million-dollar lesson of staying focused. That failure taught me success. That making that wrong decision made me make more good decisions and understand the decisions that I'm making are better for me. My favorite thing that I do that gets me the success that I get is person-to-person networking and committing before and committing without instead of saying, I can't make this happen, be like, okay, how can I make this happen? If there's an investment that you want to make in your business and you don't have the money right now, get in contact with that person, ask if you can do a payment plan, figure out if you can get funding. If you know that thing is right for you, figure out a way to get it done instead of saying, I can't do it because I don't have the funds. Well, guess what? 90% of real estate flippers, they don't have any of their own money down. They use other people's money. So leveraging your resources and being resourceful.
Damn.
And making things happen. That's probably been the biggest thing for me. People love working with me because they can see that I'm committed. I'm a go-getter, and that I'll make it happen. If I don't know how to make something work, I will figure out a way to make it work. That's how you got to do it.
That's the type of person you want a business with. You want someone who will put in the work just as hard as you will to get your goals.
Just make it happen. If you don't know how, we'll find a way. Commit first, figure it out later. And Grant Cardone says it. Many other people say it. I live by it. It's just one of the things I do.
Yeah, no, and Grant has been mentioned a few times on the podcast by previous guests about how he's influenced them. And I watch him. He's not fully my cup of tea. He is a little more than me, but I appreciate his basic message he's putting out there.
Well, anytime he talks, I make money. So
there you go. There you go.
That's it. If I take a page out of his book, I make money. Whether he's got the arrogance attitude or whatever, I don't care about that. Nobody cares about that. And he even says it. I've been in there rooms with him, and he's like, you guys appreciate information. There's a lot of people here that appreciate my information, but they don't freaking like me. But they like what I know how to do, and he knows it. He knows it. And I like both. I like his arrogance and I like the information. I find it hilarious, dude. He cracks me up.
Yeah.
So
no, I like you said, I appreciate the knowledge that he has. Maybe the way he delivers the message isn't fully my cup of tea, but I still would sit down in a room with him teaching because it's fucking Grant Cardone,
Mm-hmm. Even if he did something I didn't like, there's no way I couldn't thank him. It was his book that I first picked up when I got into this. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting here in this interview right now.
That's true. Here's my thing. I asked you originally in this thing is, what's your ultimate goal in life? And you responded with, it's always change and adjust.
It does change, yes, so often. It's okay. Sure, I can hit a financial goal, but then I started thinking, it's like, well, once you get the money, it's like, well, what are you gonna do? There's a lot of things I have been doing lately. I've been doing a lot of giving back stuff. I just donated to Operation Underground Railroad. They're saving children from sex slavery and slave labor.
Yeah.
And sacrifices, crazy stuff that people are doing to these kids. Fucking disgusting. But from there, we just went and fed a bunch of homeless people on Saturday. I'm also, I've been such go work hard, because of the oil field. I'm learning how to do things just for me and not just for my work ethic, and like figure out my end goals. Obviously, I'm back down here in Florida. I love it down here in Florida. I love being by the beach, love going on boats. We were just kayaking on Sunday. I love the water. So that's definitely, somewhere where I want to be near. It's in my end goal. I want to be, doing that, but not just living by the water, but also being able to help others. And that's why we've been consulting the agencies that work with contractors, because they've been, reaching out to us like, hey, what do you guys do? How do you guys do it? Let's get it going. And then moving forward from there, we're helping them, and they're all winning too. So like, I'm starting to move greater than just my personal, just for myself, but you can't pour from an empty cup as well. I know that too. So, you got to be a bit selfish, but also still helping people at the same time. So right now I'm just helping a bit, hitting some goals. I got my goals written down for financial numbers, and that's just what I'm working on. And maybe going to flight school soon. That's another one. I might go to flight school. That's one of the things I want.
When you get your pilot license, because I know it's going to happen, you're a hustler. I want to ride. I want to ride with you.
Oh yeah. We flying. I was talking to my one buddy about flying. He's like, "Yo, dude, you sure you want to go flying?" I was like, hell yeah, I want to go flying. I was like, I don't care if we land that thing properly or not. I'm going flying, dude. I don't care.
I don't mind if you land it properly, or at least safely.
My first couple, whatever, we'll get it done.
I'll wait till you have a few hours.
Yeah, wait till I get a couple landings in and you're good to go.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love talking with great entrepreneurs like this, because it's the synergy, like you said, it's amazing, and a fellow podcaster as well.
Yeah. He's trying to get back on track.
Yeah, trying to get back on track. And I'm just imagining myself flying, and I'm being like, is he going to be able to land this thing?
Yeah. No, that's cool. I'm one of those people. Yeah. That's awesome.
You mentioned Grant Cardone's book, the 10X, as being an influence in your life. Is there any other books that you've read recently that have made an impact?
Yes. So I'm not even just going to go into books. I'm going to go into some more stuff, maybe a little deeper. There's a guy named Howard Berg. He's the world's fastest reader. I think he can read 25,000 words in a minute. Okay.
Damn.
Yes. I'm actually learning his program right now, and I'm learning how to learn faster, because I got so many things that I want to learn, and I want to be able to just knock it out, but he just doesn't teach you how to read it. He teaches how to comprehend and instill it in your brain, so you don't have to go back through things as many times. He can learn new skills. He's got people doing 4 years of college and finishing it in 6 months. People doing university. Dude, I'm telling you, he learned how to be a photographer and graphic designer in like 4. Like, people that have been doing it for 10 years. And he's going in and coaching them after learning it in 3 days. Like, this is the power of, like, not just doing more, but getting better faster at what you're doing. Because if I can become that, then what is that going to do for my organization whenever we need new things for our business? And I can go and put the time and learn that new skill, or teach my team how to learn faster too. So like that tree can go deep rooted, you know what I mean? And if you got these things instilled in your business, and like that could be a part, maybe that could be a part of my organization one day, and be like, anyone who works with us needs to learn how to learn faster. You know what I mean? Like just think about that. If you got 10, 20, 30 people who are all learning at a fast rate and getting better at what they're doing for the business, and the exponential hockey stick growth it can have for your company and your organization, while the core values and culture aligns, right? You just think about that now, and you're just picturing like, wow, that can be insane. And
I'm
that's how it
already
is
like,
with these.
okay, I'm going to be signing up for this because
Yeah.
it's amazing.
So that's that. When it comes to like what I'm digging into right now, also a lot of leadership. I'm listening to Craig Groeschel. He's a pastor, but he teaches a leadership podcast. So if you want to look him up, every time I'm working out, that's who I'm listening to right now. He gave me this one tip, and I'm going to give this to your audience. And two tips in one, actually. So one of the things that really got me from when I was only doing around 10K a month to really taking, 40 to 60K a month in my agency was living by my calendar, actually. And I got that from Yahya Bakar. He's a speaker. So everything, I don't care if I'm going on a eating food, if I'm on a podcast, if I'm in a sale meeting, if I'm on a team meeting, it goes in the calendar. I live by my calendar. Empty space is the devil to your business. So we have the calendar thing.
Mhm.
That's one. Number two is artificial deadlines. Okay, so the artificial deadline, say I have a project, it's due on Saturday. I'm going to make it's Monday. I'm going to make an artificial deadline to be done by Wednesday at noon. And I'm going to live as if that project needs to be done by Wednesday at noon. That way I know that project is done and I don't need to release it by then. It's just got to be done, right? So what I'll do is it'll teach you how to be faster, move faster, delegate better, and get the things that you need done and be just as, if not more productive when you're doing those things.
Those are two amazing tips. Like, Jesus. I love both of them. I'm slowly doing the live by the calendar. I'm getting my way into that.
No, you just need to make it a standard.
Yeah, now it is a standard. I put everything in my calendar and I get mad when
I forget. Artificial deadline.
The artificial deadline I'm going to be starting now. In my head, I was like, okay, I have things due for next week. I'm going to start making sure that they're done a week before.
Have them done. Dude, if it's due next Friday, make it done by Thursday this week. Get it done. Get it done.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be getting, inspiring my audience with the tales from my entrepreneur guests, and here I'm being I'm being inspired. I love it.
No, it's cool, man. It's cool.
One of the joys of this job of podcasting.
Yeah, dude. And like one of the things that I teach my inner circle that we coach those agencies, when I'm learning stuff, you guys are getting it right now. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to hold off and wait till I learn something. I'm going to take something to learn and I'm going to implement it right away. And I'm also going to teach my people how to use it, because what that's going to do for me is it's going to instill it into my work ethic and my habits faster as well.
Yeah, no, one of the principles, I studied psychology when I went to university, and one of them is when you learn something, teach it to someone else, and it just solidifies that lesson in you, so that you know it 100% more. And then the more you teach it, the easier it becomes for you to instill it inside you.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Billy, we're coming to the end of the episode. I would want to spend another 2 hours.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Dude, it's fine.
I'm going to jump off, actually. No, this is your time. I'm going to give you the 5 minutes near the end. You don't have to take the full 5 minutes, but tell us where we can find you, how we can get in contact with you if we want to work with you. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, so you guys can get connected with me. You can go to either newworldmarketingorder.com. You add Billy the Bat on Instagram. It's a newer Instagram. Connect with me, DM me. You can pitch me. You have all rights to pitch me. If I like your service, I might buy it. And then you can also connect with me, Billy Batt, on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. And I stand up pretty well. You'll be able to see me in my face. So it's not hard to miss.
Awesome. Billy, I want to thank you so much for spending the time and investing in the podcast and investing in your story here with us. The show notes will have all the links so that you guys can go check out Billy, and if you can, pitch him and see if you can end up working alongside with the man.
Exactly. Yeah, that's cool. You never know.
All right. I want to thank you all, and remember, guys, invest in yourself just like Billy did, and maybe one day you can be as big as Billy.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.